just to see how it turns out. And I don't have a set pattern. I don't know where this is going to go, but I just kind of start off with a color palette and see where it takes me. So I would encourage you, if you want to dot along, to go ahead. I'm going to make this a little larger. You can see the colors that I'm using: Wisteria, Stormy, Melon. I've got Tiger Lily, and I just put just a tiny pinch of white in there, and then baby blue. And just like in the image, I've used Wisteria for the background color. And I've just got my set of dotting tools here, and we're gonna see what happens. So I'm gonna get started. All right, so I did paint Wisteria on the background, and I've got a 16 arm stencil transferred on there. And I think I'm going to start with an 8mm center and the Tiger Lily. One and a half millimeters, and I'm going to do the melon. I'm going to do a ring of 16 with 1.5 millimeters and the melon. I'm going to switch to 2 millimeters. I'm going to do another ring of 16. 2 millimeters, and I'm going to do the Stormy. I'm going to offset these dots so they are halfway in between the previous row. So this was 2 millimeters and Stormy. I'm going to do 3 millimeters and go back to Tiger Lily. I'm going to have one more row of 16. actually, I think I'm going to do another row. So this was 3 millimeters. I am going to get a 4 millimeter tool, and I'm going to do this baby blue, one more ring of 16. And these are going in the spaces. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. Oops, for just a minute, and then I'm going to continue. So give me about a minute and a half here, and we'll keep going. All right, so sorry about that. I felt like I was about to have a coughing fit or a tickle in my throat, so I went and got some water. Ill prepared to go live tonight. Anyway, all right, so I've got this center dot, and then I've got 4 rings of 16 to help build out the pattern. And what I am going to do next is I've got some white here. I'm going to get my 1.5 millimeter stylus, and I'm going to do some double dots. So I'm going to dip and dot, 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 dot. 3 sets. And just fill in some of this empty space in between these rings here. I thought this color palette would be fun to try, but I'm a little nervous that it's going to turn out kind of red, white, and blue, and that is not what I'm going for, so I'm going to try to avoid that. I think when I do top dots, I'm definitely going to cover up a lot of these really bright colors with a top dot of the pastel color, and I think that'll help a little bit with that. Like I said, I don't really have a plan. I'm just kind of telling you where my mind is going. If you were dotting along with me tonight or on the recording, of course, you can make any pattern or any design you want. The idea here is just to try out a new and different color palette. All right, so I've got some double dots up in between 3 of those rows. I didn't do the smallest row. I feel like that's close enough together that it did not need an extra set of dots in there. All right. I am going to use the same 4mm tool. And let's see. I'm going to go back to the Tiger Lily. And I'm going to add a 4mm dot on every other line. So I'm going to end up with 8 of those. Actually, you know what? I'm going to double that. I am going to go 16. And this will leave us enough room in between that I'm going to do some swipes. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up with 16 4mm dots. And then I'm going to get my 2mm stylus and the Melon. And I am going to swipe from in between out. So that's kind of fun. I'm kind of liking that. Need to get some more blue up in here. I'm going to continue with this 2mm stylus, and I'm going to do a set of 2 dots next to the Tiger Lily. So this is Stormy blue, double dots. I should dip and dot each time. I want those to be the same size. going to get my 6mm stylus, and I'm going to do, in the same ray, I'm going to do a ring of 16 with the baby blue. I'm going to take my 1.5mm stylus, and I am going to dip and swipe on each side, going outward. Next, I've got my 8mm tool. I'm going to do a ring of 16 in the Tiger Lily. going to take my 2.5mm stylus and the white, and I'm going to swipe outward again. Three millimeter stylus and light blue, and I'm going to do double dots right below the tiger lily. Next, 10mm tool, and I'm going to do Stormy, and I'm going to put these dots right next to the double dots we just did. Right, just like I did up here next to the double dots, I'm going to do a swipe on each side. I'm going to use my 3mm stylus and my light baby blue. I'm going to take my 2.5mm stylus and the white, and at the very end here, I'm going to do a set of 3 dots to make a triangle, and that's how I'm going to finish off the edge here, and then I'm going to do some top dots. All right, I'm going to mute for a few minutes. Well, not a few minutes, but for about a minute. And I'm just going to use my air gun here and dry this enough so that I can do some top dots. This is not completely dry, so I do have to be careful. I am going to get some of my background color, my Wisteria, because as I mentioned, I don't want this to read as patriotic or red, white, and blue. And so I want to incorporate more of that purple. But for my center dot, what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to get a 4 or a 4.5. I'm going to use my 4.5 millimeter, and I'm going to do Wisteria as my top dot right there in the center. I'm going to go out to the next Tiger Lily ring. So I've got a ring of Melon, a ring of Stormy, and then I've got my Tiger Lily. I'm going to use my 1 millimeter and my Melon. And I'm going to top dot 1 millimeter Melon dot on top of that. So I added the Wisteria in the center, which is not reading as much on the camera, but that is the purple background color. I did Melon on top of the Tiger Lily. In this row of baby blue, I'm going to get my 2.5 millimeter stylus. And I'm going to do Stormy. We've got a ring of Tiger Lily. I'm going to continue with the 2.5 millimeter, and I'm going to put Melon on top of that Tiger Lily. Next, we have a ring of baby blue. I'm going to get my 4mm tool and white. I'm going to add some white on top of this baby blue. Got this larger ring of Tiger Lily. I'm going to use my 5mm tool and the Wisteria. My camera does not like to show the purples as much. This background color and the color on top of this Tiger Lily really is closer to the background color in the color palette. It's just not reading very purple on camera. It's reading a very light blue. But my background color is purple. For whatever reason, it's just not showing up real good. My white balance is probably off a little bit. And then we've got these large Stormy dots. Those were 10mm. So I'm going to come through with 7.5. If you've got a 7.5, you could probably go 8. And I'm going to do a Wisteria top dot. I really want to calm down the darker reds and blues here. I want those to be more like accent colors. All right, there you have it. I might consider doing a third layer of top dots. I'm going to let this dry overnight and look at it tomorrow and see how I feel. But this was the Scaredy Cat color palette. It was kind of fun. I will post a picture on my Facebook page at Tara Lynn Pugh Artist. I would love it if you dotted along with me. If you share with me, I've got a free Facebook group, Mandala Artists USA. Or you can just tag me on the socials. I would love to see. And I like to do these color palette dot alongs. I do them about every 2 weeks just to try out new colors, try out something that maybe I wouldn't otherwise choose. And I kind of like this one. I wish you could see on video the true colors because this purple is just not showing up, and it's really cute. It looks a little more like the picture than the camera is picking up. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in 2 weeks for the next color palette dot along. If you find value in my content, I would love it if you would give this video a thumbs up, give me a follow on YouTube, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks, everyone.